Welcome back. You're watching The American Workplace Bully 2-2, continuing from 2-1. If you clicked on the wrong chapter by accident, there is a link below to take you back to 2-1, or to the very first installment if you're new to the series. Alright, to recap, 2-1 exhibited just how irrational and reactionary my former boss really is, Kathie, the VP of Fox 7 Austin's Creative Services Department. What you haven't heard yet is how Kathie absolutely hates initiative. So we're going to fast forward all the way to April 29th, 2014. Now, I'm sure most of you remember the whole Donald Sterling Clippers affair, where the NBA commissioner banned the Clippers owner for life. News wanted to jump on this as soon as possible, so instead of a regular 5 p.m. news promotion, we would use a recorded live update. Yes, I know that's an oxymoron. The story was so big that Kathie insisted on writing it herself, and I would edit the promo. It wasn't until after the footage was shot that I noticed one glaring error in the script. It said Donald Sterling was a Clippers coach instead of owner, and it was read by the news talent as scripted. And so I brought this to Kathie's attention.
Cooked it or read over it as...
It's not a copy, it's conversation.
I know, but what they said was coach, he's the owner.
Oh.
So...
Well, yeah, they should have caught that.
I'll make whichever way.
Have it with audio and have them recut it. Have it with video and have them recut it.
Okay. Kathie's blame shifting and not taking responsibility isn't very surprising to me, and based on what you've heard, it shouldn't surprise you either. Which, interestingly enough, management believed I've never took responsibility for my mistakes. Also, in news talent's defense, they're so busy concentrating on performance, they sometimes can't read the content they're reciting. Well, I thought I was having a good day, thinking finally, Kathie might see the value I bring to the department by showing initiative and fixing the error the audience would never know about, until now. A few hours later, I was so wrong.
Okay, so when I was in the meeting today, I was talking about, you had already left, and she was talking about she could finish up the immunization story that she didn't get to finish yesterday. And so I thought, you know what, I saw that story promoted last night during the following. And so I called Chris and I said, did Philip know that that story wasn't running last night? And he said, yeah, I told him that it was being moved to the fire story.
Oh.
So we ran a promo for a story that wasn't running.
I didn't know that. I know they moved her, but I didn't know that she was not going to be able to finish that.
Okay, doesn't that seem like it would be a logical question to ask next? Wouldn't that... Is the producer that's been doing topicals or that's been doing this job for so long, it's, you know, and I said, well, he texted me he was dropping the Seton story, so you dropped the story that ran.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear your side of how that happened.
No, I wasn't aware of it. I thought she was just being sent out to the fire and to cover it. She's doing double duty. I didn't know that she was. I didn't know that story was being dropped.
Okay. What would make you think she would be able to do two stories like that?
Well, it turned out to be nothing. It was just she just got photos. It was just a structural damage, no fatality, so they weren't going to do much with it. So I thought they were doing the immunization story too.
Okay. You know, you talk a lot about how experienced you are and how you know, in these things, and when I see something like that happen, I have to wonder how much you're paying attention or following up or following through. It felt like he had made it clear that she was being moved to the breaking news story.
Even though Kathie toned down a bit since the January meeting, she's still as biting as ever in her passive mode. Yes, I screwed up. I felt horrible about it. Kathie getting personal was wholly unnecessary, but for those who like to beat a dead horse...
And if you had any question about were they still going to do the immunization story, I didn't have a question when you sent me your dropping the Seton story because I couldn't remember who was doing which story. But when you're here in the thick of things and you hear that, would it not occur to you to ask what does that do to the immunization story?
No, I thought they would have said it was dropped. They never mentioned anything like that, and that's the thing, is that I thought that they were just sending her out to... Did
it not occur to you to ask what that was going to do to the immunization story?
I should have asked.
Okay.
So you can fault me for that. I should have asked. But, yeah, like I said, you know, sometimes it happens. It's just a mistake on my part. I apologize.
Okay. We're in suites, in critical time, then we're promoting the wrong stories on the air. And I feel like we already have to manage the production of these promos pretty heavily, based on from story selection to copy to everything else. I don't know what else I can do to prevent mistakes like that from happening.
Well, this one mistake out of how long we've been doing it, 6 months already. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty good record. So, I mean, from time to time, these things will happen, unfortunately. So,
but how can I be confident that the next time a story breaks, you won't think to ask us what happened to the other story they were working on?
Okay. All right. I'll just ask them. I'll confirm with them again. I mean, like I said, mistakes happen. I mean, it happened with the coach instead of the owner, and I was fortunately I was able to catch that one. I corrected that. So I mean, no one is impervious. It's just that we do our best when we can under the crunch. And so that's what I'll just do better on as far as like verifying.
Okay, because I don't know if you realize how much money a primetime spot costs on our air.
Okay.
And it aired 3 times. So you're talking a couple $1,000 at least of long. We would have to make that good to an advertiser if that happened. And there's no way to make good. I just want you to understand how important I take that issue. And given all of the discussion and all of the back and forth we do on the 9 o'clock gospel, I feel I'm still a little foggy as to how you didn't put didn't have the thought process to ask what that did to her other story if she was going out on a fire, even if it turned out to be nothing.
Okay. Well, as I said, it was a mistake. So, I always try to learn from my mistakes and try to do better. I mean, belaboring the point is not going to change anything.
While I was sitting there being berated, I couldn't help think to myself, what a complete ingrate, and that I should have not said anything and let Kathie crash and burn. But true to my character, I wouldn't do that, as it would have made the newscast look bad. And for the record, I went to apologize to the news manager about airing the wrong promo. To my surprise, the news manager said it wasn't that big of a deal. So once again, Kathie berated me over nothing, and manufactured a crisis in her mind. And I was the one fired for unprofessional behavior? Alright, this concludes the 2-2 installment. The next chapter will cover the immediate supervisor's dishonesty and manipulations that led to my termination. As always, please share and post comments. Feel free to vent similar workplace bullying stories, but remember, employees are also reading as well. Just be honest. And we'll see you for the next installment of the American Workplace Bully. Thank you for watching.